Stop scrolling, because hidden in your pocket change might be a single US dollar coin worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. These aren't ordinary coins. These are the rarest, most valuable US $1 coins collectors lose sleep over. And today, I'm revealing the top 5 that could turn your old coin jar into a mini treasure chest. If you own even one of these, congratulations, you're sitting on real money. Let's dive into the 5 rare US dollar coins everyone wishes they found. Listen carefully, because the US $1 coin sitting in your drawer might not be worth $1 at all. Some of these rare dollar coins are hitting unbelievable prices at auctions, turning ordinary finds into life-changing payouts. Today, I'm counting down the top 5 rare US $1 coins that people are unknowingly spending every single day. If you've ever held a dollar coin, you need to check this list before you give it away. One of these could be worth a fortune. In 1976, America celebrated 200 years of freedom, a time of fireworks, patriotism, and pride that burned brighter than ever before. But while the nation was celebrating, the US Mint was crafting something extraordinary, a coin unlike any other, a coin that would forever capture the spirit of that bicentennial year. The 1976 $1 Eisenhower coin is not just a piece of money, it is a living memory struck in copper and nickel, a symbol of a nation's 200-year journey, and a treasure that tells a story of power, innovation, and history that collectors around the world still chase today. In this video, we dive deep into the complete history, design, minting process, varieties, errors, and the hidden value that makes the 1976 Eisenhower dollar one of the most fascinating coins ever created. Stay tuned till the end, because what you're about to learn might change the way you look at coins forever. The story of the 1976 $1 coin begins at a moment of profound national pride and celebration. America was preparing to mark its 200th anniversary of independence, and across the country a wave of patriotism inspired artists, designers, and collectors alike. The United States Mint was no exception. In the early 1970s, the Mint had already revived the dollar coin after decades of absence, with the introduction of the Eisenhower dollar in 1971, honoring General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the World War II hero and 34th President of the United States. But as the nation approached 1976, the Mint wanted something that would stand apart, something that would not just carry the face of a president, but the very spirit of America's bicentennial celebration. The concept of a commemorative design for circulating coins was revolutionary for modern U.S. coinage. It had been nearly 2 centuries since circulating coins had featured such powerful symbolism tied to a national event. Congress approved the Bicentennial Coinage Act in 1973, allowing special reverse designs for the quarter, half-dollar, and $1 coins. This law marked a turning point in American numismatic history. For the Eisenhower dollar, the Mint held a national design competition, inviting artists to submit designs that represented the story of America's independence and its enduring strength. The winning design for the 1976 Eisenhower dollar's reverse came from Dennis R. Williams, a talented 22-year-old art student from Columbus, Ohio. His depiction of the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon was both bold and deeply symbolic. It represented America's historic past through the Liberty Bell and its technological achievements through the lunar background, connecting the birth of freedom in 1776 with the modern triumph of space exploration. This was the era when memories of the Apollo missions were still fresh, and the choice to include the moon was a tribute to Eisenhower's role in initiating America's space program. The obverse design remained the classic profile of President Eisenhower, created by chief engraver Frank Gasparo. Together, these elements created a coin that spoke to both history and progress. Struck in 1975 and 1976, every Eisenhower dollar, bearing the dual date 1776-1976, honored 2 centuries of American liberty. No Eisenhower dollars were dated 1975, as all production during that period was dedicated to the Bicentennial series. The Mint produced these coins at 3 primary facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia and Denver Mint struck circulation-quality copper-nickel-clad coins, while San Francisco issued both proof and special 40% silver collector versions. The silver issues were particularly sought after, packaged in red or blue U.S. mint boxes, and sold to collectors nationwide. The combination of copper, nickel, and silver strikes created an intriguing dynamic between affordability and collectability. From a technical perspective, the 1976 Eisenhower dollar measures 38.1 millimeters in diameter and weighs approximately 22.68 grams for the copper-nickel version. The silver-clad version weighs slightly more, at 24.59 grams. The coin's reeded edge and strong metallic composition give it a distinctive appearance and feel, setting it apart from most other circulating coins of the era. Collectors have long been fascinated by the subtle variations in the Eisenhower series, and the 1976 issue is no exception. Two major types of reverse designs exist: Type 1 and Type 2. The Type 1 design, used early in production, features bold, blocky lettering and a less refined Liberty Bell detail. The Type 2, which came later, showcases a thinner, more elegant font and sharper overall engraving, resulting in a cleaner appearance. Type 1 is typically found on 1975 strikes, while Type 2 dominates the 1976 strikes. Collectors often seek both types for a complete set, and identifying these varieties adds another layer of intrigue to the Eisenhower dollar story. The 1976 Eisenhower dollar also stands out for its historical timing. By the mid-1970s, the United States was moving away from large circulating dollar coins. Although the Eisenhower series enjoyed modest use, its size made it inconvenient for everyday commerce. Yet during the bicentennial years, demand surged, as Americans were eager to own a piece of the celebration. People saved these coins as keepsakes, souvenirs, or gifts, meaning that many examples remain in excellent condition today, untouched by circulation. For numismatists, the value of a 1976 Eisenhower dollar depends on several factors: mint mark, strike type, metal composition, and condition. Circulated copper-nickel issues often hold only face value, but high-grade examples certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC can command significant premiums. Proof and silver issues, especially in pristine condition, are highly collectible. A perfect PR70 Deep Cameo 1976S silver dollar can sell for hundreds of dollars, while rare die varieties and errors can reach even higher prices. One of the most captivating aspects of the 1976 Eisenhower dollar is its connection to American identity. The coin bridges the revolutionary ideals of liberty and the modern ambitions of space exploration. It tells the story of a nation that began with 13 struggling colonies and evolved into a global power that reached the moon. In a single design, the Liberty Bell and lunar surface merge past and future, freedom and discovery, struggle and triumph. The public's reaction to the coin was overwhelmingly positive. Millions of Americans purchased bicentennial coin sets, and the 1976 designs became cultural icons, appearing in advertising, souvenirs, and patriotic memorabilia. Even decades later, these coins remain a nostalgic reminder of a time when the entire nation came together to celebrate its shared history. From a numismatic perspective, the Eisenhower dollar represents the last of its kind, the final large-sized dollar coin ever minted for circulation in the United States. After 1976, the mint shifted toward smaller dollar coins, beginning with the Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979. This transition marked the end of an era. The Eisenhower dollar, and especially the 1976 bicentennial version, stands as the last great American dollar to bear such monumental weight and presence. Beyond its physical characteristics, the 1976 $1 coin has a deeper symbolic power. It embodies unity, innovation, and endurance. Every detail, from the ringing Liberty Bell to the cratered moon, tells a story of a people who fought for freedom and then reached for the stars. It serves as a reminder that progress is built on history, and that every generation adds its own chapter to the American legacy. Even today, collectors, historians, and everyday Americans continue to treasure the 1976 Eisenhower dollar. Whether preserved in proof sets, displayed in collections, or tucked away in drawers as family keepsakes, these coins hold emotional and historical value that far exceeds their denomination. They are conversation pieces, teaching tools, and cultural artifacts all in one. As we look back on the bicentennial era, The 1976 Eisenhower dollar stands as one of the most meaningful coins ever minted in the United States. It captures a unique moment when artistry, patriotism, and numismatic craftsmanship came together to produce a symbol that transcended money. It is not just metal. It is memory, identity, and pride minted into one powerful piece of history. The next time you hold one in your hand, listen closely, and you might hear the echo of the Liberty Bell, the hum of rockets from the moon landing, and the enduring heartbeat of a nation that has spent centuries pursuing freedom and excellence. That is the magic of the 1976 $1 coin, the Eisenhower Bicentennial Dollar, a coin that forever unites America's glorious past with its boundless future. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that carries not just the value of $1, but the weight of American history, innovation, and pride. Imagine the year is 1971, the United States is stepping into a new era. The Apollo 11 moon landing has already changed the course of human history, and the American spirit is flying high. It was in this very moment that a new coin emerged, a coin that would symbolize not just the power of a nation, but the triumph of man himself. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar. This coin was unlike any other. It was the first United States $1 coin to be minted since the peace dollar ended production in 1935, and it carried with it a sense of boldness and rebirth designed to honor both the late President Dwight D. Eisenhower and the Apollo 11 space mission that marked one of the greatest achievements in human history. This coin became a shining symbol of national pride and progress. Now imagine being a collector or even an ordinary citizen in the early 1970s. Coins were smaller. Silver was disappearing from circulation and inflation was beginning to reshape the economy. And yet here came this massive gleaming dollar coin, the largest coin the U.S. Mint had produced for circulation in nearly 4 decades, struck in both copper, nickel, and special silver-clad versions. This coin captured attention from every corner of America. Its obverse displayed a strong, lifelike portrait of General and President Dwight D. Eisenhower, designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo. His careful hand and deep respect for the man earned this design admiration for its realism and strength. The reverse was breathtaking too, featuring the Apollo 11 insignia, an eagle landing on the moon clutching an olive branch, a vision of peace amid the vastness of space. But the story of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar was not without controversy. Collectors today know the coin for its many varieties, errors, and production challenges. The 1971 coins minted in Philadelphia carried no mint mark and were produced in a copper-nickel-clad composition, while the coins from San Francisco bore the S mint mark and came in 2 forms, the silver-clad version for collectors, and a proof version of stunning mirror finished the silver content. Of these, San Francisco issues made them immediately desirable among enthusiasts who cherished them, not just for their beauty, but for their link to America's last circulating silver era. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was a technical challenge from the start. The size and hardness of the metal made striking the coin perfectly, a difficult task leading to many weak strikes, especially on Eisenhower's cheek and the moon's surface. This resulted in a fascinating range of quality differences and minor variations that today make some coins far rarer and more valuable than others. Collectors pay close attention to details like the sharpness of the eagle's feathers or the clarity of the earth and craters in the reverse design even. Minor die variations or doubling can command premiums in today's market. Another major twist in the Eisenhower dollar story comes from the difference between the circulating clad coins and the collectible silver versions. The 1971 S silver coins were sold directly to collectors by the mint, not released into general circulation. These coins were struck in 40% silver, much like the Kennedy half-dollars of the late 1960s. They came in special blue envelopes and brown boxes, depending on whether they were uncirculated or proof versions, earning them the collector nicknames Blue Ikes and Brown Ikes. The silver composition gave these coins a distinct tone and luster over time, with some developing gorgeous rainbow patinas that modern collectors prize. In terms of mintages, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 47 million coins, while Denver produced none for that year. The San Francisco Mint produced a little over 11 million silver uncirculated coins and 4 million proof coins. Each of these coins today tells its own story. Many found their way into banks, casinos, and collector albums, while others were lost, melted, or damaged over the decades. The surviving high-grade examples, especially those free from contact marks, are now extremely sought after by serious numismatists. The Eisenhower dollar also faced public resistance due to its large size and heavy weight. People were used to smaller coins, and most preferred the convenience of paper currency or the compact quarter for daily use. This limited its popularity and circulation, though the coin remained a favorite in casinos, where Eisenhower dollars became synonymous with slot machines across Las Vegas and Atlantic City. Their sound and heft made them a satisfying reward for players and a key part of the gambling culture of the 1970s and early 1980s. As time went on, collectors began to recognize the significance of the 1971 issue. As the first in the series, it represented a turning point for the U.S. Mint, a bridge between the Silver Age and the modern clad era, between historical portraiture and futuristic symbolism. Even the design choice of combining Eisenhower's leadership with the lunar landing was a masterstroke. It united the strength of American leadership with the imagination of American innovation. Today, the 1971 Eisenhower dollar stands as one of the most fascinating coins in modern U.S. numismatics. Its varieties include the 1971 S-proof silver, the 1971 S uncirculated silver, and the 1971 no mint mark clad circulation coin, each with its own charm and collectability. Rare error varieties such as the 1971 S prototype reverse and the 1971 D friendly eagle design are legends among collectors, commanding thousands of dollars at auction depending on grade, condition, and provenance. The true legacy of the Eisenhower dollar, however, lies not just in its metal or mint marks, but in what it represents. It was the last large circulating dollar coin of the United States, a final echo of the grandeur of earlier American coinage and a prelude to the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar that followed in 1979. When collectors today look at a 1971 Eisenhower dollar, they see not only a portrait of a leader and a symbol of peace, but also a reflection of a nation striving to honor its past while reaching for the stars. So if you hold a 1971 Eisenhower dollar in your hand, take a moment to imagine the time, the feeling, the pride of a people who had just conquered the moon and wanted to capture that victory forever in silver and copper. It is more than a coin. It is a monument in miniature, a tribute to courage, leadership, and exploration, a piece of American history that continues to shine over 50 years later. Before you spend or sell that old dollar coin, stop right here, because what if I told you that the 1971 Eisenhower dollar in your pocket could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, and that behind its design lies one of the most powerful stories in American coin history today? We're diving deep into the untold story of the 1971 $1 coin, its secret minting challenges, rare varieties, and why collectors around the world are racing to own one. This isn't just money. This is a piece of America's soul captured in metal, so grab your magnifying glass and let's uncover the legacy of the Eisenhower dollar. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that carries the story of America's pride, its progress, its ambition, and a dream that reached for the stars. The year is 1974, a time when the United States was recovering from economic challenges, political turbulence, and social change, yet through it all, the American Mint continued its legacy of crafting beauty, precision, and meaning into the smallest symbols of national identity. Today, we dive deep into the story of the 1974 Eisenhower $1 coin, a masterpiece that represents not just currency, but a remarkable piece of American history, art, and technological advancement. In this journey, we will uncover the origins of the Eisenhower dollar, the decisions behind its design, the controversies of its production, the hidden varieties that collectors chase to this day, and the stories of the men and women who made it possible. By the end, you will see how the 1974 $1 coin became more than a piece of metal. It became a statement of national pride, a collector's challenge, and a timeless connection between America's past and future. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar stands as one of the most iconic and yet underrated coins in United States numismatic history. Its creation traces back to the end of the Peace Dollar series in 1935, after which the United States Mint did not issue any $1 coins for more than 3 decades. However, with the passing of former President and World War II hero Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1969, a new vision emerged. A coin that would honor the man who led the Allied forces to victory and served 2 terms as a symbol of post-war American stability. Congress approved the coin in 1970, with legislation authorizing the issuance of a new $1 coin featuring the likeness of President Eisenhower on the obverse and a design commemorating the Apollo 11 moon landing on the reverse. This pairing was not coincidental. It symbolized leadership, courage, and human achievement both on Earth and beyond. The first Eisenhower dollars were struck in 1971, marking the beginning of a short but fascinating series that ran through 1978. By 1974, the coin had established its place as a circulating dollar, but also as a collector's favorite, due to the limited production of silver-clad versions and the differences in minting techniques across facilities. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint contributed uniquely to the year's production, leading to subtle distinctions that make the 1974 issues a rich field for collectors and historians alike. The Philadelphia mint coins bore no mint mark, while the Denver coins carried the distinctive D mark, and the San Francisco mint produced the proof and 40% silver-clad collector versions with the S mint mark. What made the 1974 issue special was its timing. It was the final year before the mint shifted its focus to preparing for the bicentennial redesign that would dominate 1975 and 1976 coinage. As such, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar represents the last of the traditional designs before the Great American Celebration of 1776-1976 began. The obverse of the coin, designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, depicts a powerful and lifelike portrait of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. His gaze is firm and forward, reflecting leadership and vision. Gasparo's artistry is notable for its realism and for the way it captures Eisenhower's character without excessive stylization. Around the rim are the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," along with the date 1974 at the bottom. The reverse, also by Gasparo, features the Apollo 11 mission insignia, an eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch, symbolizing peaceful achievement. The Earth appears in the background, and 13 stars encircle the eagle, representing the original colonies. The words "United States of America," "A pluribus unum," and $1 complete the design. The symbolism behind the design goes far beyond art. The combination of Eisenhower's image with the Apollo 11 motif linked 2 eras of American greatness: the military victory of World War II and the technological triumph of the space age. To collectors, this dual symbolism makes the Eisenhower dollar series, and particularly the 1974 issue, one of the most meaningful modern U.S. coins ever struck. From a technical perspective, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar was minted in both copper-nickel-clad and silver-clad compositions. The copper-nickel-clad coins intended for circulation featured a core of pure copper and outer layers of a nickel-copper alloy. The silver-clad versions, struck at San Francisco, contained an inner core of 79% copper and 21% silver, bonded to outer layers of 80% silver and 20% copper, resulting in an overall silver content of 40%. These were primarily collector issues, sold in proof and uncirculated sets. The 1974's silver proof coins are particularly admired for their mirror-like fields and frosted details, a result of the meticulous proofing process that included multiple strikes under high pressure. Meanwhile, the 1974 D circulation strikes are known for their strong luster, but often exhibit minor contact marks due to the large, heavy planchets used in the Eisenhower series. Collectors often note that the 1974 Eisenhower dollar can be challenging to find in high grades, especially from the Philadelphia Mint, due to the softness of the metal and the heavy pressure of striking. As a result, top-graded examples command strong prices in the market today. In the years since its release, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar has gained increasing appreciation from numismatists who recognize its role in bridging 2 important coinage eras. It stands as the last large-sized dollar before the introduction of the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979, which marked a major shift in U.S. coinage design philosophy. Beyond its technical and design merits, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar tells a broader cultural story. It reflects America's ongoing search for national identity during the 1970s, a period of transition marked by economic uncertainty, political reform, and renewed interest in space exploration. Eisenhower's face on the coin reminded Americans of strength and integrity, while the moon landing design looked toward innovation and hope. Today, Collectors seek the 1974 Eisenhower dollar for multiple reasons: its beauty, its history, its silver content, and its connection to one of America's most respected presidents. Rare varieties, such as those with strong strikes, deep cameo-proof surfaces, or perfect mint-state finishes, are especially prized. Some even study die varieties, mint errors, and strike-throughs, adding depth to the field of Ike Dollar collecting. In auctions and private sales, pristine 1974 S-proofs can reach impressive values, while circulation-grade coins remain affordable and accessible to beginning collectors. This balance between rarity and availability makes the coin ideal for educational collections and long-term appreciation. When you hold a 1974 Eisenhower dollar, you are not just holding a coin. You are holding a bridge between generations. It connects the legacy of leadership with the daring of discovery, reminding us that even the smallest artifact of metal can tell the grandest story of a nation's spirit. Have you ever held a coin that captures the final chapter of an American legacy, a coin that carries the story of the end of an era and the beginning of modern change? Today we uncover the fascinating world of the 1978 Eisenhower $1 coin. The last of its kind, a piece that marked the end of America's largest circulating dollar and the transition into a new generation of coinage. This coin may seem ordinary, but behind its bold eagle design lies a story of politics, power, art, and transformation from the closing years of Dwight D. Eisenhower's legacy to the birth of the Susan B. Anthony dollar. The 1978 $1 coin stands as the final salute to a monumental era of American minting history. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this coin isn't just metal, it's the end of a dynasty. In the year 1978, the United States Mint produced what would become one of the most historically significant coins of the modern era, the Eisenhower $1 coin, marking the end of a bold yet challenging chapter in American numismatics. This coin was not merely currency, it was a symbol of national pride representing both a farewell and a turning point in American coin design and monetary evolution. The story begins nearly a decade earlier, when the United States sought to honor the memory of President Dwight D. Eisenhower and the success of the Apollo 11 moon landing. The result was the creation of the Eisenhower dollar in 1971, a coin that was massive in size, heavy in weight, and rich in symbolism. But by 1978, the enthusiasm for circulating dollar coins had waned. People found them inconvenient to carry, banks struggled to move them, and the mint faced criticism for producing coins that the public simply didn't use yet. In that very challenge lies the historical importance of the 1978 dollar coin, because it became the last of its line, the final Eisenhower dollar, before America made the drastic switch to the smaller Susan B. Anthony coin in 1979. The 1978 Eisenhower dollar was struck at 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia coins bore no mint mark. The Denver coins carried a small D below Eisenhower's neck, and the San Francisco Mint produced the proof versions for collectors. Each mint contributed to the legacy of the Eisenhower dollar in its final year, yet each coin told a slightly different story, in its luster, in its finish, in its purpose. The Philadelphia and Denver issues were meant for circulation, though few actually saw the everyday use intended for them, while the San Francisco proofs stood as pristine examples of artistry, precision, and pride. The design remained the same as previous years, with the obverse featuring the powerful portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, created by Frank Gasparo, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. His design captured Eisenhower's calm strength and leadership qualities, his firm expression, representing the stoic courage of a man who led Allied forces to victory during World War II and later served as president during one of America's most transformative decades. The reverse continued to feature the eagle landing on the moon, a tribute to the Apollo 11 mission, a design also inspired by the Apollo 11 insignia itself, which had been famously carried into space. That combination of military honor and space-age triumph made the Eisenhower dollar one of the most patriotic coin designs in U.S. history. But by 1978, times were changing. Inflation was rising, vending machines rejected large coins, and people simply didn't want to carry such heavy dollars in their pockets. Banks stored them in vaults, casinos in Las Vegas used them heavily, but average Americans preferred paper dollars or smaller change. The Mint realized something had to change, so 1978 became a year of quiet closure, the last minting before the shift to a smaller, more practical dollar coin. a decision. That would change American coinage forever. During this year, the mint focused on quality control, ensuring the final Eisenhower dollars would be worthy of their legacy collectors. Today recognize the 1978 Eisenhower dollar as the farewell to the big dollar era, the last of the silverless yet substantial coins that maintain the grand tradition of American coin design. Now let's dive deeper into the minting details. The 1978 Eisenhower dollars were struck in a copper nickel-clad composition. With an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to an inner core of pure copper, the total weight was 68 grams, and the diameter measured 38.1 millimeters, making it one of the largest circulating coins in post-war America. The edge was reeded, and the total mintage between all mints reached over 25 million pieces. The Philadelphia Mint struck around 1 million, the Denver Mint around 33 million, and the San Francisco Mint produced just over 3 million proof examples. Each mint had unique die characteristics, making varieties and errors an exciting area for collectors. Among the known varieties, the most sought after are the proof coins with deep cameo contrast and the circulation strikes with sharp details and minimal marks. Although silver-clad Eisenhower dollars had been struck for collectors between 1971 and 1976, the 1978 issue was made. Only in the copper-nickel composition there were no silver proofs or special collector editions that year, which makes the 1978 Eisenhower dollar distinct as the true end of the series. It symbolizes the completion of an era that started with the patriotic pride of the 1971 launch and ended with a quiet bow to practicality in 1978. Collectors often talk about the 1978 Eisenhower dollar as a goodbye coin, the last salute to large dollar coins in American circulation before modernization took over. It carries historical weight, not just because of its design, but because of what it represents. The end of American coinage tradition. The movement from heavy to light, from bold to efficient, and from symbolic to practical. The Susan B. Anthony dollar that followed was smaller, easier to handle, but also less popular, ironically making the Eisenhower dollar more appreciated with time in terms of value. The 1978 Eisenhower dollar remains affordable in circulated condition, but high grade. Examples, especially MS-66 or MS-67, from the Denver Mint, command significant premiums in the collector market due to their scarcity and visual appeal. The San Francisco proofs, especially those with strong cameo contrast, are also highly prized by numismatists. Beyond the metal and mintage, however, lies the human story, the story of a nation trying to adapt to change while honoring its past. The Eisenhower dollar series was born in the spirit of unity, commemorating a president who embodied American leadership and a space mission that represented American ingenuity. It bridged the gap between past and future, between the heroic generation of World War II and the visionary age of space exploration. The 1978 issue, being the last of the Eisenhower dollars, stands as a silent witness to the evolution of American money, technology, and society. To fully appreciate this coin, one must understand its cultural context in the late 1970s. America was in transition socially, economically, and politically. The nation had endured Vietnam, Watergate, and a shifting global economy. Coins were changing, just as the people were. The 1978 Eisenhower dollar, with its bold size and powerful design, represented a kind of strength that America still wanted to believe in. Even as it prepared for smaller, more efficient solutions, this final Eisenhower dollar was more than a coin. It was a reflection of American identity, resilience, and pride in craftsmanship. As collectors examine the mirror-like fields of the San Francisco proofs or the bold strike of a Denver Mint piece, they're not just looking at a coin. They're holding history. They're holding the last large dollar that would ever circulate in the United States. They're holding the conclusion of a patriotic series that began with ambition and ended with quiet dignity. And in that silence, the 1978 Eisenhower dollar speaks volumes about American determination, innovation, and the respect for legacy. By the time the presses stopped striking the final Eisenhower dollars in 1978, the Mint had already begun designing the Susan B. Anthony dollar, a smaller coin meant to fit modern times. Yet the memory of the Eisenhower dollar never faded. Collectors continued to cherish its size, weight, and nostalgic value. It became a favorite among those who admired American craftsmanship and national pride. Its large canvas offered room for artistry and symbolism, unmatched by later coin designs. Even today, more than 4 decades Later, the 1978 Eisenhower dollar remains a treasured piece of American history, not only because it was the last of its kind, but because it represents the closing chapter of an era defined by courage, progress, and vision. Imagine holding in your hand a piece of American history that carries the bold image of freedom, the power of the space age, and the mark of a nation's pride. The 1972 Eisenhower $1 coin, a coin that tells the story of triumph, innovation, and transformation from the minting halls of Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco to the hands of collectors around the world. This coin represents more than just a dollar. It represents an era of bold design and patriotic legacy. Stay tuned, because today we are diving deep into the incredible journey of the 1972 $1 Eisenhower coin, a story filled with artistry, politics, technology, mistakes, and mystery that has fascinated coin collectors for over 50 years. This is not just about metal and mint marks, it is about the soul of a nation struck into silver, copper, and nickel. The story of the 1972 $1 coin begins in the early 1970s, a decade marked by change, social unrest, and national pride. America was recovering from the turbulent 60s while looking toward the stars. The Apollo 11 mission had forever changed human history by placing man on the moon in 1969, and just a few years later, the United States Mint sought to honor that achievement and the legacy of one of the nation's most respected leaders, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who passed away in 1969. Eisenhower was not just a president, he was the supreme Allied commander during World War II, the man who led the forces that liberated Europe. His face represented leadership, strength, and peace. The decision to put his image on the new $1 coin was both symbolic and timely. The Coinage Act of 1965 had eliminated silver from most U.S. coins due to rising silver prices and economic constraints. By 1971, the government decided to reintroduce the $1 denomination in circulation. But this time not in silver. The idea was to produce a large copper-nickel coin to replace the old silver dollars, which had become expensive to mint. But in addition to the circulation coins, the U.S. Mint also wanted to create a special collector's version made from 40% silver to satisfy collectors and honor Eisenhower properly. The design of the Eisenhower dollar was entrusted to Frank Gasparo. The chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, Gasparo, was already famous for designing the reverse of the Lincoln Memorial cent, and his new challenge was to create a coin that represented both Eisenhower and the American achievement in space, the obverse of the coin featured a bold left-facing portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower with the word liberty arching above and the phrase, "In God we trust," to the left, and the date 1972. Below the reverse depicted a striking image of an eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch, a direct tribute to the Apollo 11 mission insignia. This design connected the strength of Eisenhower with the peaceful ambition of America's space program. Production began at 3 facilities. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins without a mint mark. The Denver Mint struck coins with the D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint produced proof and 40% silver collector issues bearing the S mark. However, 1972 was a challenging year for the Mint, especially in Philadelphia, where the dies used for the Earth design on the reverse began showing significant variations. These resulted in 3 distinct types of 1972 Eisenhower dollars, known as Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3, and they remain one of the most studied varieties. In modern U.S. coinage history, Type 1 was the first design used early in the year. It showed a less detailed Earth, with the Caribbean islands appearing too flat and distorted. This type was mainly used at the Philadelphia Mint and is considered relatively common. Type 2, however, was far rarer. The Earth was redrawn with much more detail and accuracy, especially around Florida and Cuba. It is believed that only about 100,000 Type 2 coins were minted before the design was replaced. This variety was used on some Philadelphia coins by mistake, and collectors today treasure it as one of the key rarities of the entire Eisenhower series. Type 3 was the final corrected version and became the standard for the rest of the year, showing the Earth with refined contours and better relief. Meanwhile, in Denver, the Mint continued striking millions of coins with the D mint mark, using a slightly different hub that resulted in a stronger strike and better detail compared to the Philadelphia issues, but even then, the large size and copper-nickel composition caused problems during minting. The coins often suffered from weak strikes, flat details, and surface abrasions. This made high-grade uncirculated examples difficult to find and even more valuable. Today, the San Francisco Mint focused on producing the 40% silver collector issues. These coins were sold directly to the public in two formats: the uncirculated blue Ikes packaged in blue envelopes, and the proof brown Ikes sold in brown boxes. Both featured the S Mint mark and were made with a silver-clad composition containing 40% silver and 60% copper. They were not released for circulation, but rather targeted to the growing collector market of the early 1970s, the proof. Coins in particular were known for their mirror-like finish and sharp details. Despite the noble intentions behind the Eisenhower dollar, the coin faced major challenges in circulation. It was large, heavy, and cumbersome, making it unpopular with the general public. Vending machines and cash drawers were not designed for it, and by 1972 the coin was already facing resistance. People preferred paper dollar bills, which were lighter and more convenient. Still, the Eisenhower dollar found a dedicated following among collectors, military veterans, and space enthusiasts who saw the coin as a patriotic symbol of American heritage. Over time, the 1972 Eisenhower dollar gained legendary status among numismatists, particularly because of its three reverse varieties. The Type II especially became the holy grail for many Eisenhower collectors, with only a small fraction surviving in mint state condition. Today, even circulated examples can fetch significant premiums, while high-grade certified Type II coins command thousands of dollars at auction. To understand the true value of the 1972 Eisenhower dollar, one must also consider the broader historical context. This was a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning from traditional silver coinage to modern base metal compositions. The Eisenhower dollar served as the bridge between the classic silver era and the modern age of coins. It represented the nation's resilience through economic change, technological progress, and cultural pride. In space exploration, the coin's large size also harkened back to the grandeur of the Morgan and Peace dollars of earlier generations, making it a nostalgic yet forward-looking piece of American coinage. Collectors often seek out the full range of 1972 issues to complete their sets, including the Philadelphia Type I, Type II, and Type III, the Denver D Mint mark, and the San Francisco S silver proofs. Advanced collectors also look for mint errors, such as double strikes off center strikes, and die clashes, which can make individual coins even more valuable beyond their base metal content. The artistry, the history, and the rarity of certain varieties make these coins a treasure for serious enthusiasts. Over the decades, the Eisenhower dollar's reputation has grown. Many once overlooked examples are now graded and encapsulated by major certification companies like PCGS, and NGC. Collectors have begun to appreciate the challenge of assembling a complete Eisenhower set in high grades due to the coin's tendency to show bag marks and weak details. The 1972 issues remain at the heart of this challenge in the broader story of U.S. coinage. The 1972 Eisenhower dollar stands as a powerful emblem of America's spirit. It commemorates a president who guided the nation through war and peace and honors the technological courage that sent humanity beyond Earth's boundaries. It bridges the past and the future. Silver and copper patriotism and progress, from the minting floors of Philadelphia to the collector's display cases around the world. This coin continues to inspire conversation, curiosity, and admiration. Its story is one of passion, precision, and pride. Every time a collector holds a 1972 Eisenhower dollar, they are not just holding money, they are holding a story, a connection to history, and a reflection of America's relentless pursuit of greatness.